I'm Lee. My pronouns are they, them. And we're here in another episode of Navigating Cancer. I am wanting to talk about a concept I was chatting with a friend about recently. When I did a program a number of years ago. It was like an intensive weekend kind of personal growth program. And we had a series of different kind of sessions where we worked on different ways of thinking about life and thinking about how we exist and how we operate and mostly how we think about things, because that is kind of how we show up in the world. It all starts in our heads, right? And one of the concepts, one of the kind of sessions, we had this activity, and for lack of a better term, I always refer back to it as chocolate vanilla choose. They had somebody up at the front of the room, and they kind of put them on the microphone, and they were like, okay, we're going to give you two choices. You're going to choose one of them, and then you're going to tell us why you chose that particular option from the two choices. And so they said, chocolate vanilla choose. And the person chose, let's say they chose chocolate, and they said, okay, why did you choose chocolate? And they gave their reason, I chose chocolate because it's my favorite flavor. And they said, okay, well, that's not going to work. Try again. Chocolate vanilla choose. And granted, there was some talking before we got up to that point. And there was talking during this activity as well. But they were like, okay, well, I choose chocolate because I don't like vanilla. Again, that's not going to work. Try again. How could you make this the best, most empowered choice for yourself? Try again. Okay. It's at some point, I think one of the people who's doing this exercise was like, okay, fine, I choose vanilla. And they were like, why did you choose vanilla? Well, because every time I choose chocolate, you tell me I didn't get it right. Okay, still definitely not an empowered choice, right? People were just kind of grasping for okay, well, how do I make this a more empowered choice? Then I choose chocolate because it's my favorite, or I love it the most, or I don't know. And then they changed the question a little bit, and they were like, okay, vanilla choose. So, okay, well, I choose vanilla. Why did you choose vanilla? Well, because it's the only choice you gave me. Okay, yeah, it is. But do you feel empowered? I've only given you one choice. No, I now only have one choice. I don't even like vanilla, but I have to choose it because it's the only one I have. No, that doesn't feel empowered at all now. I'm just bummed or frustrated or disappointed. And it boils down to the kind of the mental framing of the choice that you have in front of you. Right? I choose vanilla because it's the only one I've got. So I guess that's what I get. Boo. Or I choose vanilla because that's what I'm choosing. I'm going to choose it. And I'm going to take vanilla and run with it. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to figure out how to make vanilla awesome. I'm going to rock that vanilla, I'm going to sell the vanilla so I can go out and buy some chocolate, right? How can I choose the vanilla instead of just accept the vanilla, instead of just be the victim of the vanilla, that I didn't have the choice, right? It wasn't my choice. I'm the victim of the circumstance instead of I chose it. And the example that they then moved into was flat tire choose, right? When you get a flat tire, it's not you can be like, I don't want that one. I want a different one. Give me a different option than flat tire. And so if you don't choose, if you don't empower yourself to choose and embrace flat tire, you're gonna be really upset and you're gonna call your friends and be like, I'm gonna be late for the movie, I'm gonna miss everything, my night is ruined, or I'm gonna miss that job interview, and I'm not gonna get the job, and everything is terrible, and the world is against me, and right, that victim mindset that just will take over when you don't feel empowered, when you don't feel like you have a say in what is happening in your life. And instead, when you feel okay, flat tire. I'm choosing flat tire. What's the next step? What do I need to do now? How can I own this? How can I win this? How can I make this work? How can I come out on top of this? And, you know, those are all pretty small stakes games of this. And I've been reflecting back on that as I came out of what I thought would be a pretty bland standard procedure, and woke up to a cancer diagnosis and found myself in a game of chocolate vanilla choose where my option was cancer choose. And I don't think I'm there yet. I'm pretty sure I'm still the writhing, screaming, crying victim on the floor saying, I don't want this one, give me a different option. I'm still wading through the stages of grief, and I'm not shaming myself for that. I'm not saying I shouldn't be grieving. I think now, if ever, is a very appropriate time for me to grieve this really big, hard thing that is in front of me, that is inside my body, that I have no control over it having been there, and very little control over what to do about it in a way that isn't going to be detrimental to my future. But I am each day attempting to access some level of ownership of the choice around this diagnosis and what it means to navigate this cancer and what it means to do whatever the next step is to take it on and to heal my body and to continue to live. So I think I will just leave you with that, and I'll see you next time.